Hello everyone, and today we're back with a new video. Today's video is going to be how to make survival weapons. So, survival weapons we thought would be a cool idea because we couldn't really think of anything to do, and since this week is more like crafting video and more working with our hands, we thought it'd be pretty cool to make something that we could survive with in case we somehow got lost in the bush. Yeah, our last video was on forward driving, which is kind of into outdoors and bush, into like wildlife and wilderness. So in case we ever get stranded in a place like that, or in case you guys ever get stranded, we're just going to show you a few different survival weapons we're going to make. We're making most of this from literally just things in our backyard. We've got a pretty big backyard, but there's not that many trees and there's not many variety of sticks to choose from. Especially with making survival weapons, you need pretty specific materials to work with, but we'll do the best we can. Also, we're not going to be showing like how to make a fire, which has to do with, like, you know, survival in the bush, but that will be like a different video because it's too hard to fit in the time frame of only like 4 days of actually making these things and planning them. So yeah, so first we've got to start with the bow. To get us started with making the bow, we need to pick our stick. So that's the next scene of the video. Alright, I am currently standing in a tree because now we're going to cut our bow. So we're going to cut the wood for our bow. So luckily we don't have to go anywhere because we have a tree in our backyard. I think this wood's good enough. So we're just going to cut it from the bottom here. I've got a saw here, right there. So we're just going to cut it from here. Hopefully it's long enough. I'd say it's around a meter from the bottom, -1.20. So hopefully it's long enough. Anyway, let's just skip through this. And I'm going to show you how I cut it.
Yeah, we got it.
I might just skip through this. Alright, finally after around 5 minutes, we finally got the tree down. Hopefully we can get rid of this bump eventually and we don't have to get another tree. But anyway, on to the next part of the video. Okay everyone, so we've finally got the stick and I've chopped the sides and I've got rid of the big things. We still have to peel it and get rid of these bumps, but for now we're just going to show you a time lapse. I'm just going to peel this thing, peel the bark off, and this isn't very ripe, so it shouldn't be too hard, but we'll do this and then we'll go on from there. Alright, time lapse. Okay, so we just peeled the bark off. As you saw, it literally came off by itself. Yeah, so it's very smooth, but as you see here, there's a massive bump. So we're definitely going to have to straighten that out, either this way or that way, because a bow, it not only has to be straight, obviously it has to have a big arc and be have like a semicircle look, so we have to bend it even more. And the way you do that, I'm pretty sure, is you sort of put it over a fire and it softens. Well, it's hot, so you can bend it much easier, and then it hardens right after. So you just got to keep repeating that process until you get it right. Okay, so it's a very hard stick. Yeah. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, so you've missed a lot. Time to check you in. So since we last showed you, we peeled the. So we showed you we peeled the bark off. That's this stuff right there. Yep, that's this. Sorry guys for the winds and the birds. Yeah. And so what we did, because this was a crooked stick, it kind of went like this. It's like still crooked. It's still crooked. I think it's alright. And we basically burnt the middle area and we're straightening it against the pole. We were basically like pushing it against like this, because the burn basically softened it. We'll just show you exactly how it looks. Just turn it around so we can see the... Yeah, let me just back. Damn birds. Anyway, so it's alright, and we're gonna... For a bow shape, it's okay because it has it inside. Yeah. And now what we're going to do, we already cut a groove here for the bowstring, which is here. We may change it, but I think this is what we're going to go with. We're going to cut another one like this on the other side here. And then what we're going to do, we'll show you this, I think. we're going to basically under the fire, we're just going to harden this under fire just like we did here, and hopefully that'll make flexibility better. Yeah, so I'm going to show cutting this now, probably.
We'll just show you a few clips,
Yeah.
but we'll just do most of it ourselves. Anyway, next part of the video.
Done. Now we're going to harden these bits. Okay guys, sorry we skipped the stringing process, and so we basically, you needed 2 people to tie this down.
So
it was a very hard process.
You just saw that clip, we made sure the sides were extra bendy.
Hopefully this
and
will
it did make
harden
it.
in the next couple of weeks. Apparently it would harden just like, if you leave it for a week and it's way harder. So, and we don't have any arrows as of now. We'll be making arrows tomorrow.
We'll show you more in depth of that.
We found a small stick that's not straight and it flew, not properly, but it flew. And tomorrow we'll show you this, and we'll show you the process of making an arrow, and we're going to be making something else special.
Alright,
See
wait,
you
just
tomorrow.
hold on. Just show them the resistance of the spring.
Oh yeah,
Of the string.
yeah, there is this.
Yeah, and
probably got fairly
show
like
it, show it flick, show it like. Yeah, so
probably got
it's
harder.
decent. Anyway, yeah. So see
Okay.
you tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so now we're on to making the arrows. So with the arrows, we're also going to try just use things we can find around the house, around the backyard. And I've already found one. It's a decent sized stick. I just found on that tree right there, you can see. And if you look at the stick, it's around, I'd say, 50 centimeters long. Usually you'd probably have a bit of a longer arrow, but since this bow is not the greatest, since it's just made from a stick and a simple string, these will be decent in length and the flexibility will be decent. So first I'm just going to shoot this without you know, burning it to make it harder and shaping it in any way. So first we're just going to test it, see how it flies. I've made just a little cut here so it'll be able to shoot. Make sure there's no one behind you. Make sure there's no one in front of you when you're shooting this. So, as you saw there, it flew a decent distance, but it wasn't very straight and it wobbled a lot in the air when it flew. So, first thing we need to do is peel it, and then we're going to burn it to harden it and straighten it. So it should fly straighter and it won't wobble too much and, you know, change direction. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, so we've just finished peeling the stick. Took around 20 minutes. It took a bit longer because we broke this off at least 6 hours ago. It might have been yesterday, I can't exactly remember. But that means it basically dried up and it was a bit harder to peel. Plus it's quite a thin stick, so it's obviously harder to peel than a big branch. I did the first like 75%. Yeah, and I cut the inside on my nail, so that's annoying. Yeah, so I took over. Anyway, we did it. There's like a few little light green marks still left over. You probably can't see, but it'll burn off when we put this over a fire. We'll probably just do it in our stove. Might just show you a few clips, but it might take. We don't know how long it's gonna take. It might take a while. Yeah. So we'll probably just skip through it and show you at the end. It might be a bit darker. Probably will, because we just want to make sure this is hard and dry. I'm not as worried about the shape because it flies alright, but it will just dry and be more solid. We'll try and make it into shape after. We'll basically fire harden it a bit. Once it heats up, we'll get the gloves and basically do it. Shape it, do it again until we think it's ready. And then we'll show you. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to do. Anyway, now we just got to put this over a heat of some fire of some sort. And yeah, we'll show you some clips and then we'll show you the end result. Okay, so we just fire hardened the stick. I was trying to bend it into place after I held it up to the fire. I think the more effective way to do it is to do it over like a few days or even a week, because it'll make it even more straighter. But we just got to work with what we got and just hopefully this is straight enough to make it fly well. Anyway, now we're going to test it outside. Alright, so test number 2, but this is fire hardened a little bit, just for around 5 minutes. Nothing much, so you won't see a massive difference, but in the long run it should be a bigger improvement. Anyway, I'm just going to shoot it again. See, I've carved a little thing here just so it sticks into the string, otherwise it just won't shoot. Hopefully I did it well enough because I don't really want to do it again. Anyway, no one's in front of me. So it flew a similar distance, but as you saw there, it didn't really wobble as much and it went more in a straight line.
Maybe just towards the end it shook a bit.
Yeah, at the end, because it was already falling down because I didn't pull it back as hard as I did the first time.
Maybe we should do one more test run with...
Yeah, I'll just quickly go get it.
Hey, we'll speed this up, yeah?
Alright, third test, second with the new hardened
arrow.
Alright. Saying we're not very good at shooting these arrows. I'm just going based off my time in camp shooting bow and arrows. That's where my experience is coming from. Anyway, put it in.
Put a bit more power into it this time. Bit more power.
Okay, that was a terrible shot. It actually did a front flip there. But yeah, I think I need to adjust the little split I put in the back of the arrow so it could fit on the string. Anyway, I'd say it's definitely an improvement because it's still not wobbling side to side. It flipped forward because I think it bounced off my hand or something, but it was still standing, going in a straight direction overall, and not going to the side. I aimed there, it still went that area. So
We'll probably do a final test at the end of this video.
Alright, so we've actually decided we'll be making a spear. As you can see here, there's this massive little tree that fell. I don't know when, but it's fallen and we need to cut it down anyway. So we thought we'd make a spear out of it. It's got these scratch marks, but that doesn't really matter. So yeah, we just gotta cut through this. It's gonna be from around here, from down there, so maybe just like a meter and 10 centimeters ish around there. So a bit shorter than you want it.
Yeah, so
Well,
they say...
you can have it like this, but they say the best way is to have it longer first of all, because you do have to grab it as low down, and you can reach.
Yeah, you can use it as a walking stick when it's taller. They said to get it as tall as you, and preferably as tall as you can reach, but a minimum as tall as your head. But you can also use this. Just you got to be careful with it so you don't puncture yourself when you're walking with it.
There's also smaller spears. This is quite thick, so we might chop it down a bit.
Probably not.
We might though. We'll see. Anyway, this is gonna take a while, so we'll just show you the beginning of how we're cutting it, and then we'll most likely skip straight to the end because this could take 20 minutes. Anyway, let's just start. So we're gonna start from here, around this point, and as you can see, it's much bigger here.
Go a bit lower if you can.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go as well. Try there.
Anyway, we'll see you towards the end.
Alright, so it took around 15 minutes. We kind of had to crack it, pull it off, and it kind of cracked a bit. And when we were sawing the top, it actually cracked around 5 inches worth, 5 inches deep. So that could be a problem.
That's going to make it even shorter when we sharpen it.
And this is too thick and it's a bit heavy. So first we're going to have to, most likely, we started here, just go like this, sort of, shorten it, we'll peel it, and then we'll smoothen it over a fire. We'll do that today later.
And we'll sharpen the tip to make a survival spear.
Yep.
To make it a spear, yeah.
We'll see you in the next part of the video. Alright, so we've just finished basically thinning this out of it and getting rid of like bumps and things like that. So yeah, here's the stick. It's still quite thick, but it's not like a really thick type of spear that you'd use. You can use it, like say a big animal's coming at you, I guess you can use it for that to fight it away. Probably won't snap. You can still use this for like bigger fish. Yeah, but you can't burn this, it'll go smaller. Yeah, you can't use this as a throwing spear. Not that you probably wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, and not that that's like a tip. That's not the one you want for survival anyway. It's not super heavy. You'd want something probably a bit thinner and maybe a bit lighter. Well, a bit lighter if it's thinner. But anyway, something like this. This length's probably fine, but this is still very good. So here is where it cracked. We're gonna start sharpening it from around here. Yeah, and when we burn it, all the little flakes will come off, and it'll also smoothen out and harden and thin a bit, so it'll become a bit thinner. Anyway, now we'll probably sharpen it. Anyway, that's going to be the next part of the video. Okay, we're finally finished making the spear / survival spear. As you can see, it is pretty darn sharp. We didn't actually sharpen it all the way, so at the very tip it's kind of blunt, just for safety to keep it home. Yeah, but you can make it sharper if you're in the wilderness. We just don't want to accidentally. So there's one thing I want to say. This is quite pretty thick, and and say you're in the wilderness and you make one from scratch. You have more choice because you got more trees. We just used what was in the backyard,
and we also didn't want to chop any like big branches down.
Yeah, so you would find a stick that's taller, preferably almost twice the height of this, and like at least this tall, preferably as tall as you can reach.
There's also types of spears when you build them shorter, but
this cannot be a throwing spear because of thickness. If you get a thinner one, it will be better for reaching because it'll be longer, and it'll be better for throwing. But it's not practical to get a throwing spear because you lose your weapon, you know.
Also, we would shorten it more and thin it out more, but it would just take too long. And we literally do not have many sticks at all here. Anyway, so we've shortened this. It's pretty smooth here, but it's still got a lot of rough bits around here. So we're just got to now
fire harden it,
and hopefully they'll get rid of a bit of the spikes.
Yeah, it won't look too different, but internally it'll feel
a bit harder and hopefully a bit smoother. Anyway, we just got to show you some bits and pieces, and then we'll head to the outro.
Okay, so we're doing the fire hardening. There's a lot of rough bits on the stick because it's a stick obviously, and we're using the fire hardening technique to burn off the things that are sticking out.
To smoothen the
so we're going to do this throughout the whole stick so it smoothens out, and then we're going to do the sharp bit to make it harder and also smoother. We'll show you towards the end where we're at.
Okay, so we're finally finished
fire hardening.
The thing, we still got a bit to go on the end, but we'll finish it ourselves. But as you can see here, it definitely feels a lot smoother. We could probably go over this one more time, but we've already done.
Yeah,
we've done 70% of this.
The point of this is also to harden it internally, but it gets rid of a lot of the things that cause splinters and the rough bits.
Because here we had to use the knife.
Yeah, so now you can actually hold it. You know. So that's the end of the video. We're gonna show you a couple of clips of the bow and arrow.
So yeah, we've made the bow and arrow and the spear.
The spear is the more practical one in a situation because it is easier to make. And the bow, say you don't make it properly or you don't have the right materials or tools to make it, you might not make it properly and it might not work and it won't kill, you know?
This video has been a bit all over the place because we've sort of been deciding exactly what we've got to make. Because first we thought that would be basically going to the park or somewhere, or just looking for sticks, but that didn't really work out, and we just decided to go off basically the branches in our backyard since we had a decent variety. But it was still a bit harder to choose, but we still got this out of it, which is not bad whatsoever, but you know.
Let's just show you a full comparison. There's the pointy bit, there's this. It's around, I would say, a meter. You want to get it around 2 meters, so.
There's still shorter spears.
We just made this to show you basically how to do it and just to show, I don't know, just how to do it. But yeah, definitely want to get one longer.
Yeah. So anyway,
gotta be careful with this.
Don't want to play around too much with this.
Yeah.
So
alright, that's the end of the video.
Yeah, we're just gonna say bye from here, and we'll show you a few clips of the bow.
Alright. See you next video.